Grass-fed ground beef, a little bit of sugar-free Polynesian sauce over the top, got about 500 calories. I'm gonna delete all these drawings just so we can start fresh and open a this to hold bearish. So on the 5-minute, I'm watching, and then we end up putting in an SMT here with ES. If we look over at where ES is also in this fair value gap, but we don't end up taking the high to the left of us, so we end up putting in a bearish SMT here on ES as well. Now,
questions that can give you structure to help me find out what my niche you find your niche, no matter how boring you think you are, whatever past experiences you have, whatever authority that you can give, that's where you should start. So for me, when I started posting content, I was already in the gym for about 4 years naturally, right? And I just gave my life to Christ about 8 months into it, so I was very on fire for the Lord. So for me, those were two things that I incorporated heavily into my content on for it, in terms of deepening the niche further, which is what you should always do. Personality to your content. Recently in Pathway, which is my social media growth mentorship, we just started a challenge. It was a 14-day challenge that we have in the community where I wanted everybody daily to post a video with them talking, because I saw too many people low value and low personality, and people don't follow for that. Even if one of your videos that were just like bullshit, no value video, it's going to do nothing for your personal brand. If anything, it could hurt it, because if people only flock to you for a certain type of video that has no personality, you could be someone who's getting millions of views, but you could be someone who's not going to ever be able to monetize those views, because no one's going to give a fuck about you. No one's going to know your story, your personality, any of this stuff. You have to make sure there's some angle of content regularly going throughout your content schedule that's showing people who you are. They hear your voice, they hear your tonality. All that stuff is extremely important, even if it's not going to be content that's made to go viral. Not every post you should be focusing on or needs to go viral. There's so The alliance with other resisting city-states allowed the Leonidas to push between Thessaly and the ocean. Leonidas knew that he could never defeat the entire Persian army, but he believed that if he could inflict a devastating blow of such magnitude that it decimated a portion of that army, the psychological damage would be such that the Persians would withdraw. But not everyone was convinced that this strategy would actually work. But we do know that as soon as he fell, the Persians took hold
Spartans cut down. Perhaps the greatest testament to the effectiveness of the heroic defense which Leonidas had effected against the Persians was the treatment of his corpse by Xerxes. The Spartan king was decapitated and his body was crucified. Xerxes then went about trying to hide the true number of casualties that his men had suffered. The great defense by the Spartans.
As the most powerful city-state in the Greek world. The name of Leonidas's mother is unknown, but according to the near contemporary Greek historian Herodotus, she was the niece of her husband. After several years of marriage, he had not produced an heir. The powerful council of Ephesus, the most powerful magistrates of Sparta next to the kings, to demand that Anaxandrinus divorce her and marry a woman who could bear children. When Anaxandrinus refused to do so, Ephesus allowed him to take a second wife while remaining married to his first. The king's new wife soon gave him his first son, a boy named Cleomenes. After he obtained his desired heir by his second wife, Anaxandrinus returned to his first wife, who then surprisingly gave birth to three sons. Also notorious for embellishing his accounts of Greek history. This makes determining the details of Leonidas's life additionally difficult. The city-state of Sparta, also known by the ancient Greeks as Lacedaemon, was located on the Eurotas River in the southeastern portion of the Peloponnese. The Peloponnese, been settled by the Achaeans, one of the four major Greek ethnic groups during the early period of Greek history. Sparta was home to the legendary king Menelaus, who led the Spartans in the Trojan War and fought to rescue his wife Helen after her abduction by the Trojan prince Paris. Menelaus is said to have ruled from the hilltop town of Rhamne, while classical Sparta was Spartan adults